One question about the dogs in this, and then I want to get into your service work, because I think, that's very exciting and it needs to be shared. I want you to complete this statement. If I had to do it all over again, I would.
I've been thinking about this since our preview of the interview, and I think what I would do is try to meet more other breeders, try to find a way to have more contact with other breeders. I would enjoy that. I think there's so much to learn from each other, and so much experience, both shared and individually, that I think I miss that. I like the early days when I look back with time with Sandy and time with Billy, and Marion Durholz I only got to meet once. I would have loved to have a meeting like this with her, really hear more about her priorities. She did share with me some stories, like when she was working on eradicating PRA. I'd love to share that with you, because I think that's important for people to know. She told me that it was so heartbreaking. Well, in those days, I have to say first, there was no testing. So the way breeders found out if the dog in their program was a carrier was to breed them to a PRA blind individual. So the blind dogs were very precious to breeders. If puppies were born that were blind, then it proved that the dog in question was a carrier. But if the whole litter was not blind and they all were sighted, then you had a dog that wasn't a carrier because it was a recessive.
That was a very difficult thing to do, and when you think about it, actually a very brave thing to do. It really did, at that period in time, help the breed. We don't, like you said, we don't have to do that now. There are genetic tests that people can do to find that out.
But what people may not know now is that in those days, they had to end the puppies' lives in order to test them.
Right.
They couldn't just take them to an ophthalmologist and look with a scope. So my mom went once to a breeder, I think it was Diane Bender at that time, it was across the country, and she had two litters, one beautiful, beautiful puppies, the other one not as exciting to Mom's eye, but of course it was the beautiful, beautiful puppies that were the test litter. And it was for that kind of reason, Marion was saying, when she was doing testing of her breeding stock, some of the most beautiful dogs she said she'd ever produced were carriers, and it was heartbreaking to her. And it almost drove her out of the breed, almost gave up at that time. Thank goodness she didn't, because we got our foundation page from her breeding program. And now look where we are. We have this simple cheek swab test to know so much. And it's going to get better with the new Mars lab doing all of the testing for us. It's such a gift to all of us as stewards of this breed to be able to test like that. So, but I felt really touched by that, to have heard from somebody that I consider a mentor and, in the breed so many years before I was, that went through that. I mean, I'm grateful that all of the breeders before us did all of that hard work. If I could have talked to Steve Field and heard his what were his priorities and what was his selection process, and I think I mentioned, was it Gus Secrets? Gus Secrets. I would like to ask him his priorities.
Dr. McCain, you mentioned.
Dr. McCain, yeah. Those are the ones that stand out to me. Each in their own time. How did they learn? I think they learned a lot from each other. They did share more in those days than maybe is happening now. So that's, to answer your question, that's what I would change. More contact with more